Hello guys, we want to discuss some possible questions, some common questions on temperature and its measurement. And as you listen to me, God will bless you. Now, for the liquid in glass thermometer, mercury is chosen because now for us to choose mercury, it means that the mercury has um is very sensitive. It means it has the characteristics of a good thermometer or thermometric liquid. Now, for us to answer this question now, let's see the Roman figure 1. You say it is easily seen even in a very wide ball. It is easily seen even in a very wide ball. The ball is a narrow tube, a narrow capillary tube, and it is better to say, because what they are trying to achieve here, the context of the setter of this question, I believe you want to test the sensitivity of this mercury. Because why is mercury chosen? It might be that because of because it's sensitive, because mercury is sensitive. You understand me? So that is why I will not go with that number 1. It is easily seen even in a very narrow ball is what I will go for. Don't forget sensitivity of the word. Sensitivity of a thermometer is determined by what? The narrow bore and what? Large what? Bulb. The narrow bore, the narrow tube, and the large bulb. Number 2 say it has uniform coefficient of expansion over a wide range of temperature. Yes, that one is correct. It does not wet glass. Yes, it's correct. It's a good conductivity or conductor of what it also. It can also be that it has what? A good thermal conductivity. Yes, don't forget mercury is a good conductor of what? Of heat. Another thing again, they say Roman figure 5, they say it has high specific heat capacity. um it might be that it has high specific capacity. Even I don't think mercury has high. It's supposed to be low specific capacity, because it is alcohol that has high what? Specific heat capacity. That's why we don't even select it for what? For liquid to be used in liquid in glass thermometer, even though it has all this selection based on all these factor. But note one thing, that alcohol has a very high expansivity. According to text, different texts, they told us alcohol has about 6 times the expansion of mercury. So, but nevertheless, we don't still select it. We don't select it for what? For heat, that it does not, because of its wet glass and other factors. So I will go with what? This one is wrong. This one is wrong. It should be 2, 3, and 4. 2, 3, and 4. So I'll go with A. I'll go with A. Now, number 2 says that which of the following is not an advantage? Advantage is an advantage. Which of the following is not an advantage of a pyrometer? Now, the calibration of pyrometer is usually required for true temperature value of a body to be known. They can measure temperature quite above melting point of metal. Yes. They do not require being in contact with hot body before temperature can be known. Yes. They can measure temperature above the range of thermometer. Yes. I think the only disadvantage here is that first one, because you need to calibrate them. Calibration of the barometer is usually they need to be calibrated before you can get their true what do you call it, true temperature value, and that can be a very big disappointment on their part. Please take note of that. So that's why you cannot, that's why they use the word usually. So I will go with what? A. A is the only disadvantage. Yeah. Okay, let's say which of following is not an advantage. It's not. So this one is not an advantage. B is an advantage. C is an advantage. D is an advantage. So which of the following instrument does not require to be in contact with the hot body? Yes, I think it's pyrometer. So since it's not there, we go with what? With option D, E, which is none of the above. I think that one is clear. So which of the following works depend on, which of the following works based on or depend on the Seebeck effect? I think it what is electrical what? Thermometer. Why the arrangement that is experienced in such thermometer is what we call thermocouple. Many of you have heard of thermocouple before. So a thermocouple thermometer uses what? EMF as a thermometric substance that is sensitive to change in temperature, the physical properties of temperature. And also don't forget that in a thermocouple thermometer that we always use, sometimes what, the substance have to be with what, I mean they can measure very high temperature, but not as compared to other thermometer like what, like pyrometer. Although pyrometer most of the times are classified as a special kind of pyrometer and all that. So I will go with what? Option B, which is what? Option B is a thermometer that works based on what? Seebeck effect. And don't forget that uh, the functioning of this type of pyrometer depends on Seebeck effect, as just so that, or the principle upon which they work depends on Seebeck effect. Why that of what? Gas thermometer is used for standardizing other thermometer. Resistant thermometer is a thermometer that is used to what? To measure the change in temperature based on changes in resistance. And a good thermometric property that we use is platinum. Platinum is used for thermometric what? Substance used in resistant thermometer, and so forth and so on. Let's go to number 5. So one of these of the disadvantage of pyrometer is, one of the disadvantage of pyrometer is dash. They can measure temperature above the range of thermometer, yes. Number 2, they do not require being in contact with hot body before temperature can be measured, yes. They determine the temperature in furnace by observing radiation from it, yes. Calibration of, no, which one is the answer? Calibration of the pyrometer is usually required for its disadvantage. Property of temperature scale include the following except dash. The properties of temperature scale include the following except dash. Now I want to list the property for you to what. Remember, when we have a volume of what? Of gas. Volume of gas is for what? For gas thermometer. Gas thermometer. Sometimes we can refer to them to what? Volume of the trapped gas. You understand me? Or pressure being trapped down. So volume of the gas is what? Is thermometric what? Property of this thermometer. Then we have what they call what? Length of a metallic strip. The length of a metallic strip is used for what? Metallic strip thermometer. There's what we call what? Bimetallic strip thermometer. That one is used. We have a bimetallic strip what? Thermometer. And those one uses what? the length of what? Of a metallic strip. Then we have the next one is volume of a liquid. Volume of a liquid is length of a metallic strip. Volume of a liquid is used in liquid in glass thermometer. Liquid in glass what? Thermometer. We have electrical resistance of a conductor, meaning that what? We use someone in resistor thermometer and so forth and so on. But this area is the wrong answer there, the odd answer. The resistance of a certain thermometer, the resistance of a certain thermometer is, this is 0 degree, this is 100 degrees Celsius. So at 0 degrees is 65 ohms. Look at it here at 0 degree. And 98 ohms at what? At 100 degrees. Now see, if the resistance is 86.8 ohms, what will be the, when it is placed in a hot water, find the temperature of the hot water. So that's what we are looking for, temperature of the hot water. So what I would have now, let's do what they call comparison. This, or you can say this minus this, then theta minus 0 is equals to 86.8 minus what? 65. Then 100 minus 0. 100 minus 0 is equal to what? 98 minus 65. So what we do it like that? Theta minus 0 is theta over 100 minus 0 is 100. So what do we have now? We have 86.8 minus 65. We are going to have it as what? 21.8 divided by what? 98 minus 65. I would have 33. Cross multiply. We would have what? 33 theta equals to what? 21.8 times 100 is what? Is simply what? 2180. So divide both sides by 33. So divide both sides by 33. We are going to have it as 66.06. And that should be option A. 66.06. They say the attribute point of water, the specific pressure and temperature is dash. Now, don't forget that attribute point of water is a word or a definition you must know. Now, what is attribute point of water? The attribute point of water is the point at which the saturated water vapor, the pure water and melting ice are in equilibrium. Please take note of that. When the temperature at which the saturated water vapor, which is in gaseous form, pure water in liquid form, and melting ice in solid form, are all in equilibrium, that point is what we call, look at the point here. Let's say we have this. So this is what? Saturated water vapor. This is what? Let's say the pure water. See, just a sketch. And the what? And the melting ice of water. Where they meet here is, well, let's say we plot graph of temperature against pressure. So this point is 4.58 millimeter mercury. Why this point is what? 273.16 Kelvin. Now, don't forget that at triple point, the temperature is 273.16, while the pressure is 4.58, which approximately what? 4.6. Also, don't forget that triple point of water is the only fixed point measured measuring the what the thermometric property on the thermodynamic scale. On the thermodynamic scale, that means is the what the only fixed point that measure the what thermometric property on a thermodynamic scale. So the thermodynamic scale has only one fixed point called triple point. Now the second one say the thermodynamic temperature scale uses only one fixed point known as what? As the triple point. Yes, correct. The slight difference between the triple point of water and the ice point of water is due to the temperature, is due to the difference in pressure. Yes, between ice and what? And triple point. That's what they're supposed to say. So that means the difference in pressure, we have not forget pressure of ice is about 760 millimeter mercury, while pressure at triple point is what? 4.58 millimeter mercury. So the difference in that pressure is what? As a result of what? Of their what? Their slight what? Difference in what? Slight difference in temperature between water and triple point. You see, the slight difference between the triple point of water and ice point is due to different pressure between ice and what? And what? Don't forget that ice point is what? 273.15. The ice point of water, which is what? The ice point. While the triple point is what? 273.16. So that means this triple point. That means this slight difference between these two temperature now is what resulted to that difference in pressure between ice and what? Pressure of ice is 760 millimeter mercury. Pressure of at triple point is what? 4.6 approximately, or 4.5 what? 8 millimeter mercury. The temperature and pressure of triple point of water are what? 273.15 and 4.58 millimeter mercury. No. So triple point of water is measured to be what? Uh, so this one now is, there's a problem here. Uh, this supposed to be 273.16. So this one is correct, this one is wrong. So I will check this as a wrong answer. Then next word, look at the next one. You say the triple point of water is the measure of thermometric property on the thermodynamic scale. Yes, this one is correct. This one is correct. This one is also correct. So I will go with 1, 2, and 4. Do you have 1, 2, and 4 here? No. So I'll go with none of the above. 1, 2, and 4. At what temperature would the Celsius and Celsius scale read the same as Fahrenheit scale? Now, first of all, let us even derive an equation that relates to this Celsius scale, then this Fahrenheit scale. This what? 212 degree Fahrenheit. This what? 32 degree Fahrenheit. And let's call this one theta, and let's call this one theta, for instance. Now, why I would like to derive the equation first is because I want to this minus this, go to this minus this, then this minus this over this minus this is 1/8. So let us see how we can solve this. Now, if you check very well, what we are going to solve here, if you solve it like this, we'll be cancelling. Okay, let's see, because they don't have the same fundamental interval. This one has a fundamental interval is different between the upper fixed point and the lower fixed point. So in this case, this one have 100 fundamental interval. This one have 1/8, 1/8 minus 32 because 180. Let's say theta over 100 over 1 half. Then this one will be theta minus 32 over 180. So this one cross multiply. What I would have 180 theta equals to 100 theta minus this one times give us what? 3,200. And then this one times 180 theta. So let's collect like them. 180 theta equals to what? 100 minus rather. Why? If this one go this place, become minus 100 theta equals to what? Minus 3200. Now what do we do? 180 minus theta will give us what? 80 theta, which will now give us minus 3200. Divide both sides by 80. So theta will give us what? Minus 40 degree Fahrenheit. So I will go with minus 40 degree Fahrenheit. Number 11, we say which of the following gives the correct advantage of gas thermometer? A gas thermometer are very sensitive because gases produce large what? Range of temperature. That is the right one. Yes, that one is correct. That is a complete statement there. Now, okay. Since gases be at high state of purity, the readings can be what? Reproduced to a high degree of accuracy. High degree of what? Accuracy. This accuracy. Pardon my mistake, please. High degree of accuracy. Yes. A wider range of temperature can be covered. Yes. Then the next one says what? Gas thermometer is cumbersome to use due to its size and therefore not very. This is a disadvantage, a clear disadvantage. Now they say Roman figure 5 say used for standardizing of other thermometer. Yes, this is an advantage, this is an advantage, this is an advantage, this is an advantage. So I will go with 1, 2, 3 and 5. Option C. 1, 2, 3 and 5. Now this particular question, the Roman figure I is wrong statement, but I have to correct it. I copy the wrong questions from the standard international exams. He said what? He said which of the following gives the correct advantage of gas thermometer? That Roman figure 1 is gas thermometer are very sensitive because gases produce large proportionate increase in volume and pressure when heated. Yes, that means when you heat, when the temperature increases, what happen to the thermometer now? The thermometer get what? Sensitive. I mean gas thermometer are very sensitive because their gases produce large proportionate in volume and pressure. Don't forget there are two types of thermometer. We have the constant volume gas thermometer, which has to do with increase in pressure, and we have constant pressure gas thermometer, which has to do with increase in volume. So it all depends on the kind of thermometer that you want to use, but the one that is commonly used is what? The constant volume gas thermometer. That is what is commonly used in what? In questions most of the times when you go to past question. And don't forget that gas thermometer can measure up to 1,500 degrees Celsius. Yes, so they can measure up to 1,500 degrees Celsius. The only thing that make gas thermometer not to be used or to be a disadvantage is because of they are too large, they are too cumbersome to carry around. The size is not satisfactory for routine work, so it's not. But for standardize is a what? It's an advantage. To standardize other thermometer, we use it for it. And I believe that you enjoy this class. We are going to continue for question 12 in our part 2. Ensure you stay and watch the next video as we would come back for it. Thank you.